It was 1959. I was invited to a party at Marion Maggots, who was an assistant editor then at Commentary Magazine. And at the party, Norman Mailer came with his wife, who he had stabbed the week before. And she seemed okay, though she'd certainly made a complaint, and it was something for him to deal with. And at the party, apart from Norman Mailer and his wife, came Allen Ginsberg and Gregory Corso, actually, wasn't it?
Jack Keroak.
No, it was Gregory Corso, I think.
I thought Keroak and Ginsberg were shooting spitballs across the room.
All right,
from
so maybe it was Keroak and Ginsberg, and they were throwing spitballs one at the other, and, you know, there were other people there like Ilya Wax and Eugene Goodhart, and it was quite the party, and I think I must have been 20 years old, 19 or 20.
Where was it given?
It was at Marion Maggots' house.
Which was where?
It was on the west side, Upper West Side, I mean.
Not yet. We wait till she's done.
And it was a great event, and for me, you know, it was really quite a spectacle, and that's about all I have to say about that occasion. So I leave it to you two, and I think I'll
Okay,
go upstairs.
could you please move?
I got you, Dave.
All right. This was a party at the Dakota, which was the building that the Bernsteins, Felicia and Lenny Bernstein lived on Central Park West, a great building. And I come in from New Jersey with Thomas Edwards, who later was the executive editor of Raritan magazine, which was actually modeled on a magazine my wife Patricia and I and a couple of other people started in Newton, Massachusetts. Later it was based in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Anyway, so we had come in from New Jersey, where I was living in Highland Park, the Edwards were living in Plainfield, to this party at the Dakota. At this party, there were people back from the Selma marches, and there had been a big picture in Life magazine of a beautiful, beautiful African-American girl during some black guy who'd gotten his head cut, probably with the Bull Connors police who were beating heads with their billy clubs. And she was wiping the blood from this handsome young African-American man's head. And they were there. And also Norman Mailer, whom I had the silly idea of asking if he'd teach me writing. He said, no, he didn't teach writing. Later, I was the one who was teaching writing. And I had to teach myself writing. Maybe I didn't need Norman to do it. It was better that I just learned it on my own and learned by teaching others at Harvard for about 7 years, both essay writing and creative writing. Actually, the person who gave me her creative writing class was named Cynthia Glauber. She was the sister of Adrienne Rich, who was by that time quite well known as a woman poet in America. And also the head of our expository writing program was my friend from Knoxville, Tennessee, who with me had done a big rally against the Vietnam War in an organization called Vietnam Now, and Richard Marius. In fact, I'd written a long piece that I think one of us read out loud at this rally. He'd actually done some proofreading and corrected some mistakes and helped, and typed up this essay I've written. A lot of it from accounts by I think it was Susan Sontag who had written a lot of pieces in the New York Review of Books about Vietnam. And also a guy named McDermott. Terrific stuff in the New York Review at that time about Vietnam, critical of the war, Bernard Fall, and other people. At any rate, this beautiful girl was there who had been in Life magazine wiping the blood from this young handsome African American. I said to them, you know, I think the Southerners will get the wrong idea when they see two beautiful young people like you, one, different race, one white and one African American. It's too much erotic beauty involved in that picture, and I'm worried people get the wrong idea that there's too much sex wrapped up in the in all the protests in Selma and Montgomery and so on. And anyways, I didn't like that. Also, Leroy Jones was there. It was called Emir Baraka. He'd written Dutchman, which I later produced in Knoxville, Tennessee, with an all-black cast from an African-American Zion church, and some actors from University of Tennessee, which was then had the Thomas Guthrie Center, which later went out to Minneapolis as a theater, the Guthrie Theater. But somebody had given a huge amount of money to the University of Tennessee for their Shakespeare Theater. And so I was there with Thomas Edwards, who was writing a lot of book reviews for the New York Review of Books. And there was a bottle of Keroak over on a table, which I finished, and left the party quite inebriated, even to the point of sort of doing that rocking thing. It's terrible to make yourself that sick from drinking a whole bottle of cognac, even though it's very high quality cognac. And so we got home. Tom Edwards was driving. I don't think he had much to drink at all. I don't think Richard Poirier was at that party. But other notables, besides Marion Maggott and Norman Mailer and Alan.
Marion Maggott was there?
Wait, well, I mean, you said it was at her house. Must have.
It was at her house, but
Well,
it's not
wasn't
the
she
same
there?
party as your party.
No, I'm talking about the party at the Dakota building. No, I mean, the only well-known people were Leroy Jones, who was called Emir Baraka. It was about right before he went, after his fame of writing Dutchman, which is a terrific play, I think. He was about to move to Newark, and he totally transformed Newark, who had had a big riot after after King was killed and Malcolm X. They had a big riot there, and the state police shot 29 blacks, looting some stores. And so anyway, we went hightailing it back to New Jersey, and I'd come in walk over the Raritan River and catch the bus to New York. Spend evenings in New York, come back late from the Port Authority building, and arrive at the bridge across from my house on Highland Avenue in Highland Park, New Jersey. walk up the hill a little bit to our apartment, our house, and go to bed. So that's the end of that story.
Can you just say what, like, we can do another draft. We don't have to publish this. Say a little bit about how Ginsberg influenced you.
Did he?
Yes, but I don't feel.
Comfort?
Yeah.
But you don't have to talk. I just want to say something about my dad. I want to say something about my father, the composer and conductor, David Van Vactor, after whom I'm named. And I'm David Landris Van Vactor. He was David Glenn Van Vactor. Anyway, it's quite amazing that he won the Man of the Year award from both the Kiwanis and the Rotary Club of Knoxville, Tennessee, 3 years in a row.
It should be a
Man of
separate
the Year.
video.
And you know, he had a repertoire of about 150, 30 jokes. And he was a favorite among this male men's club people in Knoxville, Tennessee, being a conductor of the Knoxville Symphony and founder of the Fine Arts Department at the University of Tennessee. And he was having his music played all the time in Boston on the radio and recording all his best music in Frankfurt, Germany, on the Frankfurt Radio Orchestra, which is also called the Hessischen Rundfunk Orchester. And so then he's back in Knoxville doing his job teaching at the university before he retired at 72. He was in the Knoxville Symphony Orchestra as its artistic director for 25 years. Retired after doing 9 symphonies of Beethoven from memory, and as the ovation was given at the end of the Ode for Joy, now renamed by Lenny Bernstein, the Ode to Freedom. We just heard his concert and watched him conduct the Berlin Philharmonic and the Munich chorus, Dresden chorus. That was the Bayerischer. Bayerischer means Bavarian. It's the German pronunciation of Bavarian chorus. And then there was the Dresden chorus. I think there were representatives of 20 countries celebrating the end of the Berlin Wall and the reconciliation going on between the end of the
This should be
Cold
really
War.
a separate video. Let's cut it now, because, like,
Fine.
you can talk about this in another video.